Okay, you ready, Nockess?
Yep.
Alright, recording has started. Welcome everyone to the marquee matchup of the week. We have Kwill, top seed, versus Jaxx. First map, Kwill opted to pick first and picks Marbled up. So, should be an interesting one to start. This match is a rematch of the winter warm-up lower bracket run, and they played and went to all 5 games with a randomizer round decided on King of the Marble. So, very interesting rematch. Gonna have to see what happens.
Ready, set,
Game kicks off.
go.
It's a close spawn with a lot of reds. Kwill gets the better of it. Kwill's definitely been practicing today. Jaxx is still warming up. This is the first game for him. Kwill grabs an early blue. Yellow pillar is left by Jaxx, who opts to pick up a super speed instead. Very strong start for Kwill so far. 16-4. Jaxx is able to get to the next spawn first, but it seems to be struggling to pick up these yellows. Kwill opts for the top path. Good back and forth on this spawn. Jaxx appears to have started to wake up in this game and has been able to narrow the lead significantly, down now to about 8 points. Kwill uses the super jump to get the better of the end of that spawn and resets to the middle, where Jaxx opts to pick up the remains and is rewarded for it with the next spawn. Kwill extremely slowed at this spawn, seems to not realize that it was happening almost. It's going to be a little bit closer for this next one, picking up 2 yellows with a good bounce. Jaxx with the wall hit to pick up the next red in the blast and picks up the remaining gem, and this blue is going to be extremely good for him. Misses it, but able to recover, and Kwill sends it down, but it's too late. Really good spawn for Kwill once again, but this match has evened up to be neck and neck at this point on Quill's map pick. Got a far side of the map spawn. Jaxx taking the lower route. He's able to blast up, but it's too late here. Kwill blasts him off. Gonna have to settle for super speed. Both players struggling to get up here. Jaxx with the multiple wall hit to slowly but surely work his way up there. It's a tie game at 49, and Jaxx sweeps the next set of spawns. Unfortunate super speed, but still... Oh, that's really going to hurt right there, falling into the pitfall. And Kwill's able to strike right back. This is such a back and forth match with spawns going either way. Kwill opts to take a little bit of time to pick up the blast, hoping that will come in handy a bit later. They both share the last red on that spawn, but Kwill with the blast is able to knock Jaxx away, only resulting in a yellow for him. And we're back to a 5-point game with Jaxx plus the next one. Jaxx does arrive a bit faster and is able to pick up the remains of this spawn, not opting to pick up a power-up instead, whereas Kwill is ready with the super jump when the blue comes. And will also be able to pick up the bottom yellow. Usually those 2 gems don't go to the same person, but in this case Kwill was able to clean up that spawn with a really nice edge hit plus blast to get the better of the subsequent spawn. And this is going to eke out a pretty sizable lead comparable to the start of this game, and we've only got a minute and a half left on the clock, so Jaxx is going to have to pull out something here to be competitive. Jaxx taking the high road here. Only got reds for the time being, but the next spawn is extremely close, and Jaxx has the mega popped. Going to shortcut that one. And instead of the super speed, actually picks up the last red. Doesn't end up coming back to bite him, though, as the next spawn is right behind him. It's Under 10 points once again as Jaxx is able to pick up some nice gems and a really nice super speed to kind of switch momentum. However, Kwill is still faster at the spawn, picking up both yellows. And Jaxx stuck in the pit once again, really struggling to get out here. Going to have to opt for a wall hit on the third attempt, and this is almost certainly going to secure the game for Kwill unless some really swingy blues come in and change the momentum. Jaxx is able to get the first one. Can he also get the yellow? Yes. So again, under 10-point game. We've got 24 seconds to go. And the next spawn is a little bit far, but Kwill is first to the yellows. If he can get both, it's going to be very hard for Jaxx to claw back. He manages to do that. Under 10 points now. And the last red expiring is ticking down the clock. There's not really any time left, but it is a blue, and Jaxx is closer. He's going to need 2 points plus the blue to tie it up, but Kwill is able to get there. And it's going to be a very, very narrow win for Kwill in the end. So going up 1-0 on his map pick against Jaxx. All right. So that is the first game going over to Kwill on his own map pick. So would have liked to have a little bit of a larger margin. And there were times where it looked like Kwill was going to have that one in the bag, but Jaxx made it competitive until the end.
Yeah, really, really close match between the two. And it seems like Kwill had a bit more strategy in this play, opting to go out of the way for a power-up or using blast a bit more often with intention more than Jaxx. So what do you think the reason that Jaxx was able to keep up is?
I think Jaxx is a little bit just a faster player. I think Kwill has more multiplayer intuition when it comes to using blast, using mega, and also having strategy with pathing. And you know, that's something that comes with experience, and Jaxx is still a very new player to the scene, so not really having as much multiplayer experience as single player. I expect Jaxx to be very good against Kwill on bigger maps where the transition time is more important. So Gem Finding Folly is a little bit out of left field for me. I feel like Kwill would be pretty competitive on this one, but we're going to have to see how game 2 goes. Alright, Jaxx really needs a win here, so we're going to have to see if he pulls it off as we start game 2.
Ready.
3 minutes 30 on the clock.
Set. Go.
We're all square with the first spawn. Second one is right where we are. Jaxx able to pick up that last red, but it's a layup for Kwill, but misses it in a really tragic fashion with the super jump committed as well. So Jaxx, if he's smart, able to get a blast here, but opts to just pick up the last red. You can see a little bit less experience in the strategy here, but still able to get a sizable lead to start. Kwill once again going for the same super jump. This time sticks to landing, learning from his previous mistake. And a very slow blue for both of them, but they do manage to share it in the end. Quill's closed the gap a little bit here. Jaxx did not have the blast required to get that blue, but is able to go around the long way using the sand to climb the wall. Pretty much every spawn has been at this middle level, and both of them continue to share these gems. Kwill is able to have the super jump handy to collect that blue, whereas Jaxx is going to pick up the remains, and that will easily be enough to equal the blue, so all square on that spawn. Kwill super speeds past without much to show for it, but able to come back and collect a lot of the gems. Nice super jump to snag the yellow on his way up. That's a very important play. And seems to be some lag with the server. That's really unfortunate, but doesn't seem like much was lost for either player, so there's 2 gems left, fortunately. And next blue that should have really fell into Quill's hands, but I didn't really see where he
nice
went.
play from Jaxx.
Yeah. Kwill using the teleporter. They're going to leave that yellow to despawn here. Kwill going for the tightrope. Yellow plus red. Not able to get the yellow. Jaxx also fails. We've got some nerves here coming into play. Finally have a lower blue, and I don't think Kwill is able to get that one. He's not happy about it. Kwill with the gimme of a blue, able to close this gap a little bit. Taking the same line to this spawn. And it's another high spawn. We've only got 2 yellows with the previous one already being there. Oh, it's a far blue, and I'm not sure either player has a super jump to get it. They both go for the super speed and miss it. Oh man, this is a little bit sloppy here from both players. As we get deeper into game 2, there's less than a minute left now. This blue is proving very difficult for both players. I think Jaxx was the one able to eventually get that, and it's going to be very hard to claw back 30 points, especially with that next blue going the way of Jaxx as well. So, looking like a decisive game 2 here for Jaxx. Just a little bit faster on each spawn, but I would say more importantly is the mistakes that have crept in for Kwill here. Just consistently off by a little bit. Jaxx is going to fall into this pit, but it's a little too late for Kwill as a more than 35-point game going away from Jaxx. What do you think about that one, Nockess?
Yeah, I know that. Oh, just lost my headphones. I think you could tell that Jaxx's ability as someone who rolls a marble, being a little bit more polished than Kwill, was a little more evident there. A smaller map where there's more precision, and Kwill probably could have taken advantage of the 2 blasts by the beams, but also we didn't see too many spawns in that area, so that would have been going very, very out of the way to pick up those power-ups.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something I noticed as well, but it wasn't really in a position for Kwill to punish him, because Kwill was a little bit preoccupied with trying to navigate all the spawns himself, rather than trying to think far ahead to the next spawn.
Yeah, I think you could see that Jaxx is slightly more polishing mechanically showed in the mistakes that Kwill made, especially with some of those blues.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gem Finding Folly is absolutely dictated by which blues you're able to get and which you aren't. So Jaxx was able to win those 9-4, and that's really all you need to take home a Gem Finding Folly game.
Ready.
All right, heading into game 3, Kwill picks Gems in the
Go.
Road, which is a map where you really want some strong mechanics, but there's also a lot of tech that you can master, especially with the respawns if you know what you're doing. Both players using a gyrocopter. Kwill, unfortunately, going to miss this set of spawns. Respawns in an alright location, but this is going to be Jaxx with an early lead. Next spawn is just perfect for Kwill. Oh, nice mega there from Kwill, but unfortunately falls off the map and falls off the map again. That's one thing about this map is when you respawn, you really need to be patient and gather your surroundings. Unless you have every single respawn point down, which these players clearly do not, you kind of have to just make sure you don't make that mistake and just fall immediately again. Mega picked up by Kwill, and I think this is part of Quill's plan here is try and utilize the Mega to deny Jaxx a lot of space. But Jaxx is really quick, so able to get a lot of those spawns, and by picking up the last red, Jaxx should be closer to this one. But they're going to end up sharing it, with Kwill going for the shortcut to try and pick up both yellows, but Jaxx is still going to come out on top there.
Kwill in a perfect position to basically sweep this entire spawn. It
Yeah,
really
that's
helps
the
him
thing
out.
as well about this map is that so many of the spawns are just one player only because they're all in a line. Very much a gems in the road situation. And so if you're second to a spawn, a lot of times it's the best play to just sack it and try and go for a blast power.
And it's really helped Kwill, who has taken the lead for, I think, the first time this round.
Yeah, he's really going to need that lead because, again, this is his pick. During their previous match in Winter Warm-Up, both of them were able to take a game of the opponent's pick. So that was able to make it go all the way to game 5 here. But Jaxx kind of getting the better of that spawn, and it's going to put him in the lead once again, only by 5 points as we get a slide spawn that Kwill is well positioned to pick up. However, that now puts him on the other side of the slide, leaving this spawn for Jaxx. Another good position for Jaxx, but doesn't have the power up to take advantage of it, and that is going to give this one over to Kwill. As slowly as he might be clearing it, Jaxx was able to pick up some pieces in the end. Nice yellow stolen away from Kwill there. Jaxx able to land on it and then use the blast to get the remainder of the spawn. This is very back and forth here. Another slide spawn that this time both players are in position to take advantage of. Jaxx with the super speed should be able to get most of this one. Once again, both players share the slide spawn, so they are really keeping these potential slides in mind when it comes to how they're positioning. There hasn't really been a lot of venturing to the extremities of the map. Here is a spawn that Kwill is able to jump towards. Yet another slide spawn. We'll see which player can actually get there first. It's very hard to land in that slide well from the top level if you're coming at it from a far location. And it was kind of just picked apart by both players.
A mistake from Jaxx, and let's Kwill catch up again.
Yeah, we're at a tie game. Aerocopter for both players, a little bit later for Jaxx with the Mega, looking as derpy as possible. But Jaxx able to get in that slide. You can see Kwill is desperate to get a piece of that spawn, but going to be punished for it. However, able to recover with the next spawn using a good gyrocopter, and this Mega is going to be pivotal with a little over a minute left in the game. See where Jaxx is, but I think this is all Kwill's. Going out of bounds to reset momentum and then picking up the super speed. Yeah, so Kwill able to get a 4-point lead. Is on the far side of the map now. Jaxx has a head start to the spawn. Kwill's going to need to come around and get the super jump, roll up the ramp. Jaxx has been a little bit slower than he probably could have to get this spawn, and once again, it's a 1-point game. Less than a minute remaining. Kwill able to get up here first, struggling a little bit to collect every single gem. Both players in the vicinity for this spawn. Kwill trying to take a swing at Jaxx. Barely. Oh no, he was able
Beautiful
to get
man.
that. Yeah, really close there. As good of a hit as it was, it actually doesn't take that much time away from Jaxx, who retaliates with another Mega. How is he going to get up here? He's able to come with the blast, and looks like Kwill is not in position. Jaxx is running away with this one now. There's not enough time. And another perfect spawn location for Jaxx is going to decide this one. Kwill comes in with the Mega, but too little too late. Even if this whole spawn goes to Kwill, it's Jaxx's game on Quill's map pick. And that is 124 to 115 for Jaxx on Gems in the Road. And we're going to go back to Jaxx's map pick now. This is his opportunity to close out this game. I'm wondering what we might see for Jaxx's pick here, because Jaxx has a very wide map pool. Triple Trail is something he didn't even pick in Winter Warm-Up, so... It's also one of Quill's preferred maps, so I'm not sure these players really know much about each other, but Kwill has put in a lot of time on Triple Trail, and I would consider this maybe even Kwill favored, so we're going to have to see how it turns out.
Yeah, and I think on Triple Trail, you can make a lot of the same mistakes, or the same kind of mistakes that you can make on Gems in the Road. So Jaxx having won the previous game, this might work out well for him. But if this is a map that Kwill has historically been good on, in practice especially, then we can hope for another close game like almost the other three of them.
Yeah. Quill's picks have been very close, and Jaxx had a deciding game too, so we'll see if he can continue that on Triple Trail.
Set.
Game 4.
Go.
Spawn on the Orange Island. Pretty epic cannon path here. Not sure how Kwill ended up ahead there, but able to get the first spawn. And we're going back to the Blue Island. This is an opportunity for the teleporter, and Kwill wisely does so. Definitely has strong map knowledge of when to use the teleporter. And that's something that if you haven't practiced this level a ton, really gets exploited. But Kwill, very unfortunate, not able to cross with the super jump. And if you can't do that, you lose a ton of time. Unfortunately for him, Jaxx was not very quick either, and it was not a very big spawn. This is a teleporter opportunity for sure, and Kwill cannot get on the platform, so that is going to be an easy blue for Jaxx. Kwill trying to pick up the pieces, and is in a better position to get these yellows from the next spawn, so still maintains a narrow lead. And we're going to the pink island for the first time. Kwill, with the super jump, able to get a better path on that blue. Jaxx tries to take a swing, but not able to make anything happen. And Kwill, with the super jump yet again, is in a better position. Yeah, Jaxx is taking the cannon way around, and that is not really the fastest path, especially to pick off a key priority target like the blue. This time, both players taking the cannon. Ooh, Jaxx misses. That's an opportunity for Kwill, but there is a close respawn point. Looks like Jaxx wasn't able to spawn there, and this is a huge lead for Kwill now. Definitely has a great understanding of how to get from island to island very quickly, which is the key to doing well on this map. Kwill utilizing the Mega here, dissuading Jaxx from getting too far into the spawn, and having to use the super jump to dodge the cannon is Kwill, so this is some momentum back in the way of Jaxx. Use the super jump to collect this next spawn, and Jaxx is on the way to evening this one up. Still about halfway through the match here, 16-point lead for Kwill. Using the gyrocopter, should be able to get this blue first, but overshoots it with the blast. Very easy mistake to make, and since he didn't touch the ground, Kwill spawns back on the pink island. Very fortunate that this next spawn is with him, although it's not a very high-value one. Both players go over the Mega. Uses that, is crucially able to hit the island, so will spawn here, but Jaxx has the Mega on that blue island, and the next spawn is right where we were, and it is now a 3-point game with Jaxx having the better position for the next spawn. Kwill has completely thrown his lead on this one. And Jaxx picking up the next spawn, and there's going to be a few reds that go the way of Kwill, but we've got our way over to orange. You have to not hit your head with the super jump here. Jaxx wisely able to do so, both players in pursuit of this spawn. Neither one really prioritizing blasts, which can be very important on this map. Jaxx actually blasts Kwill favorably towards the blue island. And these last few spawns are going to be extremely high pressure. We've got 40 seconds to go, even game. Next spawn is on the pink island. Jaxx able to use the gyrocopter over, and is going to slant here. Kwill's coming in hot with the Mega. Both players with Mega. Who will be able to knock the other away? It's Jaxx that gets the best of that. This is anyone's game. 2 points. 20 seconds. Next spawn still on the pink island. There's an important yellow that Kwill is able to snipe up from below. Jaxx has a 2-point lead, able to go around, not picking up the blast. Neither player's worried about that. Kwill in a position to get 3 of the gems with a super speed for the 4th. This is 1-point game. Next spawn on the blue island. Whoever gets there first will win this game. Jaxx able to get it, and that's going to be game and series.
Incredible! Fantastic.
Yeah, that was very, very close in the last minute. Very exciting. Jaxx is able to get to the island at the last minute and picks up his pick of Triple Trail. We had some very, very close games between both players.
And nearly dead even on the gems, too. What a close game.
Yeah, it was 2 reds that made the difference at the end of that one. Very strong performance from Jaxx here. Definitely good, strong mental as well to come back from such a huge points deficit at the start of the game on his own pick.
Yeah, it seems like Kwill was playing really, really well in the first half of the map, first half of the game, and you can tell that his map knowledge was just a step up. But Jaxx was absolutely on fire for the last couple minutes and probably deserved that win.
Yep, definitely played better across all of the maps. Especially Gem Finding Folly was very decisive in Jaxx's favor. So, strong performance. I think Kwill had some very good moments as well and looked very competitive against Jaxx, who many people consider a very fast and strong player. Was actually the lower seed in the series, which was quite a surprise to almost everyone. But a good start to the tournament for him, able to take this one over Kwill.
I think that was a great marquee matchup for the first week. This is one that
I know
we all have been excited about for since the matchups were announced. So absolutely worth tuning into this one.
For sure. Left a little disappointed we didn't get a randomizer round after how close those games were, but congratulations to Jaxx. All right, that's going to do it for our marquee match, 3-1 to Jaxx. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Good shit. Oh shit.